Good evening and welcome to the August meeting of Rutherford County Health and Education Committee. Welcome to the committee, and I might say also, I know we haven't formally done the committee selection yet or anything, but I am delighted to see that all of you evidently chose to come back on this committee. So I don't know what that says, but maybe you're just glutting for punishment. But anyway, that certainly pleased me very, very much. We have, well, let's get the minutes done first. I need approval of minutes. Ms. Cook, thank you. And a second. Mr. Shanto, thank you very much. All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We have some guests in our audience today, and I will introduce them in a minute, but I do want to say, because I don't think he's going to address us, Director of Schools, Mr. Odom is with us this evening, and the Director, always good to see you. And did you want to say anything particularly to the committee, or just hello? It's good to have you with us this evening. Mr. Sandvik will do the honors, I guess, on school board business in a minute. First order of business is community care report. Ms. Cook, you've been on the committee for more than a week or two now, and have you got anything to report from community care? They did send in their report, of course, which all of you, I assume, have read. Mr. Burgess, of course, is on the committee as well, and he's with us as always. Looked like we're in pretty good shape, but
I wasn't able to be at the meeting last month, but Mr. Burgess was there, so, but reports looks good. I'm disappointed in the interest rate that we get on our money. Very disappointed.
Well, I can certainly speak to that as well as everybody else in the room, I guess.
We got money just sitting in the bank. No, we don't get anything.
Mr. Mayor, comment on
it's a very stable operation. The census is strong and remains strong, and the delivery of patient care is really good out there. So they're doing good financially.
questions from the committee? If not, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Ms. Cook, thank you. A second?
Second.
Mr. Turner, thank you very much. All in favor of approving community care report, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? There's none. Health Department, Garrett is with us, and you have her report in front of you, and if you haven't looked that over already, please do so. I notice we have moved up. We're now honorable members of the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners. I don't know if that's entirely accurate on this end of the table or not, but we'll go with that until somebody proves different.
It's only for a select few of us, a few on the committee. You can decide which one.
Yeah, all but a couple of people. Ms. Garrett, what do you have for us this evening? And
yes,
it's good
sir.
to see you, by the way.
Thank you. Good to see you guys. I am here to report our July numbers for our medical clinic in both Murfreesboro and Smyrna, and those are attached. We're doing well, as you can see, almost up in numbers of patients seen in almost every program. So, and of course, our Smyrna continues. Our building is coming right along, so you guys will have to come back out again when we get it completely done. But I'm shooting for maybe the end of October when we'll have it open and able to offer the classes and the community center that we're hoping that will be.
No more room to expand there unless we go
No,
up. Or dig a basement.
That's right. I think we're full there. It's really looking beautiful.
I make a motion that we accept the report.
Thank you, Ms. Cook. A second?
Second.
Commissioner Jordan, thank you so very much. Any questions from Ms. Garrett? Or any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? None. Ms. Garrett, anything else?
Yes, sir. Just one more thing. We have received as the health department a donation from the Rutherford County and Stones River Medical Alliance for $1,165 for specialized medical training for one of our registered dietitians. She's going to be going to do childhood obesity training, and they donated that. So I just need y'all's permission to submit that into the budget.
Have you already prepared a budget amendment?
Yes, and that's gonna go to the budget committee, but I always want to bring it to you guys as well,
Okay.
and then that will go to there.
Normally you bring a copy to the
Do I
committee
bring a
also.
copy? Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So should I bring that next month, or could I go ahead and take that to the budget committee
No,
next?
just for future ones. for
Okay.
Yeah, I believe we can go ahead and I don't see any problem, but the committee may see a problem, and if they do, this would be a good time to ask a question. If not, I need a motion to approve this almost existent, but not quite, paper copy of her amendment. Do I hear such a motion?
Second.
Mr. Shanto and Commissioner Phillips. Seconds, all in favor. If there's no discussion, waiting for discussion, there is none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, and there is none. Thank you.
Thank you, I'll remember next time.
How's your farmer's market going?
The one in Smyrna,
Mhm.
it's really good. It's been very successful. We now have 4 farmers that routinely come up there, and it's pretty much hard to find parking because the community really likes it, and it's been very successful. And
Is that every Friday,
no, Wednesdays.
every Wednesday?
Wednesdays, yes.
And it's from what time?
8 to 10 usually. Sometimes he stays a little bit later.
Several have asked me, and I said, call health department.
We always put a sign out, advertising it, just a little sign so people know what times and everything.
Well, you can advertise it now.
Yeah, that's right.
Just a quick question to follow up on that training. Is that something that we have to go away for?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sounds
And
like,
that fee is including her registration and travel.
sounds like a pretty specialized training, so I was assuming that that would have to happen. What would this person do with that after they become certified or trained?
Right. We have a pilot, we're part of a pilot for the state of Tennessee that is focusing on childhood obesity prevention and controlling it when it's identified through nutritional counseling for the whole family. And so the Alliance came to me and said, is there any kind of specialized training that you guys would like to have that we could sponsor? And I talked to our staff and they said, it's not something that the state would mandate that you have, but it would be really nice if we had this extra education so we could do better service for our patients.
How are these children identified?
Through our clinic, when they're seen.
Not through the school system or any of that?
They can be. At the pilot stage we're at right now is just for the clinic
Okay.
patients, and then we hope to expand that
Okay.
a lot more. And the Children's Special Services Program is helping fund some of that as well. It's a partnership with the YMCA here in town, so there's a lot of partners involved in trying to get it off the ground, but it's just starting now, and it will take place in both the Smyrna Y and the Murfreesboro Y.
It's you're hearing more and more and more about it through the news media all the time, and I would, for one, be interested over the next couple of years as to how that's going and how successful you feel that program has become.
Absolutely. I plan on trying to bring you more information about our primary prevention initiatives that we're doing, such as that as well, each time when we start something new, and kind of keep you up on where we're going with it, because it is a big part of what we do besides the medical that we do as well.
That's good work. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Great question.
Anything else from Ms. Carey? In good shape? Mhm.
You need to vote.
Don't we need to do a roll call?
Oh, absolutely we do. I just want to see if you would remember.
She did.
And you did. That's why you make big money. Call a roll, please, Ms. Gallo.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Cook?
Aye.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Gary.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your
Thank you.
support very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Jolly, Special Projects Report. While she's coming forward, I want just to tell the committee that two folks that I talked with at Laverne High School on the same faculty as they were, Sue Kane and Jean Kane, are both in the audience tonight. Just want to say hello to them and glad to see them here. Ms. Jolly?
The Stewart's Creek project is 46.23% complete, and the Eagleville addition is 81.3% complete.
Okay, I need help.
Any other questions?
That's as of what date, by the way?
The 22nd of August.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay.
I think this is actually was the 25th. I ran some stuff on the 25th.
Say what the Eagle one was again.
It is 81.3.
Were they, oh wait, and that's Jeff. I was gonna ask if they were able to utilize any of that space. Okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It must be, but I think they're ahead of that pace, because if not, somebody's lying in emails, because I've sure got 4 or 5
Because that was the goal.
emails.
That was the goal to have it
Yeah.
for the school year.
They moved into it, they were
Thank
very
you for your
excited.
help.
No, you're welcome.
And Stewart's Creek was what again?
46.23, but it's probably more than that too.
Well, hard to tell on a project that size. When Bill Tollett emailed you and said they're putting up the, I would call them chalkboards, but that's 1950s. But anyway, I think he seems to think that they were going to move right in on the first day. So, and Mr. Clardy said they were. So I guess we're in good shape. Any questions for Ms. Jolly on any of the figures?
Motion to approve the report? Second.
Mr. Jordan, Commissioner Turner, thank you both. Any other questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposition, there's none. Thank you, Ms. Jolly, as always. Well done. Mr. Sandy? Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Mr. Odom's going to join him up here, but you are to save your most difficult questions from Mr. Odom for the next commission meeting. He's going to address us during the health education report time. And seriously, if it's something you need to know or whatever, you might tell him tonight or give his office a call or whatever. But I don't know what he's going to talk about, but I suggest it probably be education based. We were approaching 40,000, aren't we? We were right there. Looks like we may make it. I don't know. I don't know if that's bad, I guess. But anyway.
39,920.
39,920. And that does not count preschool, does it?
It does not count preschool.
Almost 40,000.
And it'll be over 40 if you have preschool.
40,000 with preschool.
It'll be over 40.
Mr. Scanby, please. You have a couple of amendments. I think,
Yes.
Committee, if there's no objection, I believe we can take them both. We've had this material for some time. I think they're probably in pretty good shape here. So, Mr. Scanby, if you would.
All right. The first amendment, the board approved a GPS budget amendment in order to fund the purchase of School Stations Evaluate software in order to support principals and better facilitate the teacher evaluation process, which we started last year. It's $7.99 per school. My recollection is it's a $5.99 renewal fee per school after that.
Is that
This-
annually?
Annually, the $5.99 annually.
Okay.
And this program will be linked to our in-service for prescriptive purposes. If a principal in the evaluation process feels that a teacher needs to concentrate on classroom management, it will link to the classroom management in-services that we have available. And this amendment is within major function, so that we just bring forward to y'all. It transfers $35,955 from the equipment line, 72,410,701, to account 72,410,399, other contract services, in order to fund this purchase. And the recommended motion is to amend $35,955 from Office of the Principal Equipment to contracted services as presented.
Questions from the committee?
Do you get any kind of orientation with the software?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
How does that work? Will there be like one person from each school oriented, or something, just central office gets
All-
oriented, or?
All administrators were done, plus
Okay.
central office people. We've even done some follow-up training with that.
Okay. And then the $5.99 annual renewals, I assume if there's any modifications to the evaluation process,
Covered.
that's all covered?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. The second amendment is insurance recovery. We have received $98,816 in insurance recovery revenue from last October's hailstorm. The amendment uses $20,000 of it to complete roof repairs and increases the budget for building and contents insurance and vehicle insurance by $78,816. Normally, I anticipate being able to do it this year. Basically, we will replenish the school board's portion of the self-insurance fund with that $78,816, unless we get a lot of things coming in during the year. But I normally, anything that we don't spend on premiums or the minor things that we pay directly out of our funds, I transfer at year end to the insurance fund. The recommended motion is to amend $98,816 in insurance recovery revenue, account 49,700, to increase building repair services for the roofing by $20,000, to increase building and contents insurance by $39,116, and to increase vehicle insurance by $39,700.
Questions from the committee? Okay, I assume you're ready to vote. I need a motion to approve and
Motion to approve.
Second.
Turner, second Ms. Cook. And as you know, this is a money item, and this will take a roll call vote. Her, take it away, roll call person.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Cook?
Aye.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Serena?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. Anything else for the director or for finance director?
I just publicly would like to say thank you for your service before, but we look forward to working with you and are anticipating big things. I know we got a lot of big projects ahead of us and big discussions, but welcome aboard in your official capacity. And obviously you've been serving before, but I think I speak for the committee in saying we're looking forward to working with you moving forward.
Looking forward to working with you.
School board meets again
Wednesday, work session Wednesday and then
tomorrow
Thursday.
night and Thursday. And then the next time they meet, they'll elect a new chairman, I guess, at that point, and your new members will come on board. I echo what Commissioner Turner says. I'm looking forward to working with you in whatever capacity, and I can assure you this committee is as well.
Jeff, have you announced the community meetings for the Stewart's Creek Zone?
No, I pretty much have to wait until the board sets the September board meeting schedule.
About when do you anticipate we'll start
Their
holding?
preliminary dates set. There are some preliminary
Yeah.
dates that they've set. I don't have them with
Yeah.
me tonight, but
So,
Ms. Joyce has them.
Okay.
and I will work around those dates.
Okay. I just know we've got a lot of constituents chomping at the bit to see those zones.
Oh, yes, yeah, and just, we have had those September meetings change before when the new board has come in.
Okay.
So we would have to cancel and reschedule, and it'd be
Right.
rather challenging to get the word out to everyone.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just have to do what we told them last
Okay.
If there's nothing else, we look forward to seeing you in September.
Thank you.
We get started, the mayor has been starting late lately, so 6:03.
You got long to get all that group sort of quiet.
Well,
Absolutely right. You did last time. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We have Mr. Bales with us this evening, and I asked him to come up, and if the mayor wants to come with him, that's fine as well, from MTSU. And you should have gotten a copy, and I did print off, Dick, actually, as you know, does all the work around here, this kind of work anyway. A request from MTSU, a funding request for their science building, new science building, which has been in the planning stages over there since the 1930s. At least I feel like it's been a long time. But anyway, progress. We've had a groundbreaking and things are happening. At any rate, committee, tonight, you're welcome to ask Mr. Bales if he has some comments to make on this project. But probably next month, after you've had time to digest the material, listen to him tonight, and we can discuss tonight at whatever length you'd like to but I don't really intend to do any voting tonight unless you all just insist on it. I'd like for us to try to digest this material as best we can. This is a big request for a big project. And when Mr. Bales, welcome to Health and Ed, and take it away, sir.
Thank you. In front of you, you do have a copy of our request for $1 million in support of this project. It is somewhat unusual. As you may recall, the state of Tennessee in session this past spring changed the way capital projects are funded for higher education. Previously, almost any of the facilities we got came through state funds, or in the case of Mayor and I were talking about our new student union, dedicated student funds or things like parking fees that paid for garages. But now new capital projects now require institutions to provide a percentage of those funds, and we've been asked to provide $18.75 million on a $147 million project. When we put that plan together, obviously that caught us a little off guard because it's new to the game for us, but we decided that we felt like we had three sources of potential support for these. One, obviously, is student fees, which we want to keep to a minimum. We all know the high cost of education and feel like the more we can do to keep those fees down, the better off we are. One is an internal reallocation of our own resources. We want to move some monies we've had in plant funds and facilities to help with that project. And third is third-party external private funds, grants from the communities and things like that. And so, if you've seen in the news, the city's considering a similar request. We're looking for $1 million there as well. We feel like this project has great value not only to our campus but to the community. I think there's two things in there that are imperative to think about for Rutherford County. First is our ability to train people in math science. If you look around at the governor's initiatives going around on increasing recruitment of high-tech companies, math science training is at the very top of their wish list. They need better skilled employees. This is going to give us a chance to really do a much better job. While it hadn't been quite on the books since 1930, our science facility is more than 50 years old. And they were designed for a campus of less than 12,000 students, and we're going to be over 25,000 again this year. So we've got antiquated facilities that are inadequate to train our students. We've got to do that if we're going to produce the kind of graduates that are going to bring jobs into this community. The second part is somewhat unique in this facility is also our commitment to K through 12 education. Those of you know that STEM education, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, is becoming critical to all education, particularly K through 12. This facility is going to have dedicated space where we can take classroom teachers in training and provide them with hands-on education so they can do a better job educating those K through 12 students as well. This is easily the most important project we've put up on campus in probably 50 years, and we certainly appreciate your consideration of our request. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Meeting? I know you've had opportunity to read this, I hope, and as I said, we're making no decision tonight. This is, I'm sure Mr. Bales understands, and the public needs to understand that we know that this is not our $1 million. This belongs to the taxpayers of Rutherford County. I'm curious if you ask any other counties?
Well, as I said,
I'm not saying you should have or shouldn't have.
No, and I mean, obviously, we'll start with those communities where we have the greatest numbers of students, and I think that's the most logical place. We'll look at where we can get resources. What we have found is, particularly as they went through this process a couple of years ago with community colleges, is a lot of those funding are very closely tied to the immediate community. The further out we get, obviously, the more difficult it gets. But we're going to look for a wide cross-section of support. We're not only looking for government support, we're looking at foundations, we're looking at private individuals. We're trying to gather at least $6.25 million in the next couple of years so that we can move forward with that commitment. If we get beyond that, we're going to use that to reduce our student obligation as well. But this is new for everybody. We've heard it from a lot of places that communities were not prepared for this. We weren't prepared for that. So this is a new game for all of us in higher education.
Is it being proposed to do this over 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years?
Up to 5 years.
Up to 5 years. Makes it a little bit more palatable to,
And we've tried to accommodate
Yeah.
that. We certainly, in our funding model, have accounted for that. We noticed that with particularly private contributions, most people are going to want to look at a 3 to 5 year payout on those things. and that certainly fits within our funding model.
This will be a completely new brick and mortar building.
Brand new,
Where?
state of the art. It is the largest education construction project the state of Tennessee has ever undertaken.
Where will it be?
If you can kind of think of where Davis, Weiser, Patton, and Davis are, this is going to sit to the east of them and slightly to the south. It's going to be adjacent to the library. If you come in on the back side of campus now on Alumni Drive, the space has already been cleared. We've been working. I had to tell the governor's press secretary the day we had groundbreaking. She said, "When do you think you'll start?" I said, 8 o'clock in the morning. And she thought I was kidding. We had people on the grounds at 8 o'clock the next morning because it's so desperately needed. We've been pushing that as quickly as we can. We anticipate getting in January of 15.
And this has been a #1 priority for 5, 10 years, longer? I mean, for a long time, I know.
It's been
at the top of the list for quite a while.
It's been on top of the list for several years. And we all know what the economy went through for several years, which really put a strain on the state. But it also was something that this administration really deemed important. And I have to say, we probably could not have gotten that through this year if it hadn't been for the incredible support we got from the community. Mayor Burgess, Mayor Bragg, our delegation, all made it very clear the value this held for our community.
Believe me, we made more than one trip. I mean, it might have been in double digits, visiting with the leaders down there in the administration.
Other questions from Mr. Bell? Got him here now. When you start discussing this or thinking about it in the middle of the week now, he won't be here, so.
But I'm available anytime. If you have questions, if you want to tour the site, if you want to see the old facilities, we'll be glad to show you.
I've seen the old facility.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
I don't ever want to see it again.
We have a lot of students express that same sentiment.
Any other questions?
You mentioned that it was the largest undertaking, I guess, in the state of Tennessee to build that kind of building. Is there any similar around this area that we could compare it to that are projected, or that, even in Kentucky, or just out of curiosity?
University of Kentucky, if I remember correctly, in the last couple of years, finished a science building primarily devoted to the health sciences.
Mm-hmm.
Similar cost structure. I think they were at about $120 million.
Okay.
University of Alabama, I think Birmingham built one in the last 3 or 4 years. Our costs on our building are actually, in the peer comparison in the design, we stayed at or below almost all the contemporaries we had around.
Okay.
But they're challenging because science buildings are somewhat unique from a classroom building.
Mm-hmm.
Classroom building, you put space for desks and, not blackboards, but the whiteboards and technology. In science building, because the plumbing, the electrical, the ventilation, that's a big one. One of the things that this building's unique in is how we handle some of the ventilation issues. But with the chemicals in there and the potential for fumes and things like that, there's a significantly increased cost just to put those things in to ensure that our students have not only a technologically advanced environment, but a safe environment.
Right. Well, and I think aesthetically that always helps new students coming in, seeing new facilities like that. It makes them.
It does. It does.
A little bit more interested if something looks new and fresh as opposed to.
And I think it's going to be
30 years
exciting.
old.
Now, we really believe we've heard from a number of our students that one of the considerations in the past when we got top science students who considered MTSU,
Right.
they looked at other places and they went, I've got to go somewhere else.
Sure.
The laboratory facilities are inadequate.
Right.
The space is just really not conducive. But we feel like with this, the caliber of student we'll be turning out is going to be a huge driver locally for the economy. I think it's one of the great things we got about a university is we find so many students, whether they're from Rutherford County or not, come here and find out what a wonderful community we have. They want to stay and live here, and then they contribute. They work, with our companies and factories, and really provide a lot of economic value to Rutherford County.
Thank you.
I think this would be an encouragement to our school system for our students to have extra classes taught, that they can go right into that. And I've been an advocate of math and science and so forth, not against the sport, but the math and science and those things get you through life. Sports is entertainment.
Absolutely. And as I say, there is some specialized space we've set aside in that building specifically to help teachers so that they can get that training. They can come back for summer sessions, and also our teachers in training. This will let us do a better job with our College of Education students who are going to be teachers, giving them better skills, and so that when they enter the classroom, they'll do a better job.
I'm gonna take the stadium money from Stewart's Creek and put it here.
Further questions, comments, Mr. Phillips?
It's always comes down to finances and taxes. Mayor Burgess, we're probably looking at a $200,000 commitment this year.
Well, if we were to somehow determine you're going to give the million over a period of 5 years, yeah, it would be 200,000.
This year?
This year,
And then we would budget for it over the next 4
Budget
years?
for it, subject to the availability of those funds, you would.
Okay. If this committee looks favorably at it, I would really encourage your office, Ms. Nolan's office, to kind of give us some feedback maybe next month as to where those, where we could get those funds from this year, as if we anticipate looking at this favorably. I'd like some feedback maybe next month as to the availability of funds and what we might be able to do to support that this year.
Okay, and we'll do that, and we've had a little preliminary discussion.
Okay.
There are a few other projects, not major projects, but smaller projects that we probably want to sort of present the whole scenario of some other needs that we're going to have to address. So we need to look at the whole picture.
Absolutely.
But I think there's a likelihood that we can develop a reasonable scenario.
Thank you.
Refresh my memory, how much did we pledge or help Motlow out with their new building?
This time, 200,000, and we gave them 100 last fiscal year and 100 this year.
100,000 2 years in a row.
The initial time, which was years ago, I think y'all gave more than that. It was maybe 300 or 400, I'm not sure. It was another different number.
That may be before, I don't remember that.
In the city of Murfreesboro, they expected an equal donation from them, and they declined to contribute to that. Wasn't that correct?
Correct. That's correct with respect to Motlow.
Oh, on the current donation, the city of Murfreesboro declined.
Yes, they did.
Have you had any conversations with them about this project?
We have. The city has had one disclosure on it. They're going to have those discussions this fall as well. They're on a similar timeline that you are.
The administration has recommended making the contribution.
Did the administration not recommend the contribution to Motlow? They did not.
I think they did.
I guess I was sitting here thinking about that. I just feel a little burned by that because Motlow has, become a feeder school to MTSU. They're a valuable resource for the community as well. It's not just Murfreesboro alone, and I felt a little burned being a Smyrna commissioner that they weren't willing to support that school as well.
Well, MTSU is literally full for a lot of intensive kids, and a lot of kids that are just not quite up to the academic standards to get there. Motlow can be a great stepping stone to get those kids into your school, the sophomores and juniors, and also I think we need to support both schools because they're both helping local kids. Huge numbers of local kids, percentage-wise, going to both schools.
You might tell them, if you don't know now, next time, how many Rutherford County students. I think it was about 7,000.
Sounds probably about right.
I'm not sure.
The number get up, I'll find it
At
out.
MTSU.
25% of student
It's probably
population
20
right around there.
I have to pull the numbers for this year. We hadn't got them, but it's always a very high percentage. Always a very high percentage.
Motlow can't match those numbers, but they do match the percentage. Percentage is over 40. Rutherford County students. And echo what Commissioner Allen said, there's a world of youngsters, I would think, that in the Laverne Smyrna area that might not commute anywhere, but they can get started in Motlow. And it was immense help to them. And President McPhee was at the opening and had comments and was obviously very supportive of Motlow, but for whatever reason, City of Murfreesboro did not go along with it.
Motlow is our #1 feeder. It's from the community college system, and it's a vital partner that we have in promoting education. There's no doubt about that. And it does exactly what you said. It provides that student who, either for financial reasons or academic reasons, needs that transition time, a place to go, get their college start, and then transfer in. And with the new change with the Complete College Tennessee Act, it's become easier for those students to matriculate through, starting at Motlow and working their way through to MTSU. So.
Just to kind of try to help you out here just a little bit, I don't think you need much help, but anyway, this committee, this is where these requests starts. Obviously, that's why you're here. But we recommend or not various things to our budget committee, which comes up obviously later. Also, we confirm our committee selection process is complete as far as I know. I don't decide those things, and they probably will be confirmed this Thursday night, I would think. I don't know that, but I would think so. And then the full commission will have to do that. My point is, I think this committee is coming back as a whole, I hope, as I open remarks saying that. I may or may not be chairman, and what I'm telling you is that you may have to do all this again. Somebody else will have to say it, and we may not vote on this the next time.
That's quite all right.
I don't really know. I would imagine we're going to have some questions. A comment or two on a couple of side items that worry me a little bit, and I'm not getting position on this yet myself personally, but first of all, we have begged the state to send us money to help us build buildings, because that is frankly what is killing our debt and load and our taxes, which go to build buildings. Well, now, of course, they're not going to do that. I know that. When we ask them for it, I know they're going to say no. They just kind of look off into the distance and look at you when you ask them that. But now that they're having trouble asking us for money. You see my point?
Well, I do, and I will say, the state doesn't mandate who we ask for funds.
Right.
But obviously, we tend to look for those individuals or those organizations or municipalities that have the greatest benefit from the facility. And obviously, with what that does, there is a trade-off. I will say, I think they caught everybody off guard this year with this change in funding formula for buildings, because this is a totally new step for the state of Tennessee. We've never asked the institutions to provide any of the support. Now, there have been a few instances where a private donor has come forward and said, I want something. I want a facility. I'm interested in a particular area. Are there matching funds available? But this is the first time it's come back the other way. And there's been a lot of discussion, I can tell you, with my colleagues and across the university system as to what this means for all of us. Sort of to your question about have we looked at other municipalities? Well, obviously, Davidson County is a large feeder for us. Davidson County has TSU and Nashville State. They know that if they get a facility, they're likely to go be asked. So it gets to where do they get pulled? Williamson County, with Columbia moving into that area, is being asked to help there. Bedford County is helping us with the center we're putting in Shelbyville. So we've tried to match those up as best we can, but we're cognizant of the fact that if this becomes sort of the law of the land moving forward, it's a challenge for all our communities, because I forget, is it 44 of our counties have a higher education facility, either a 2-year, or 4-year, or technical center, and if that becomes the way we're going to operate, each of those realize that at some point they're going to get asked to help the local institution with their facility.
Yeah, I said two things, and the second thing is each person that you see here, we have 12,500, almost exactly, constituents. We've really got 260,000, but we've got 12,500 we answer to directly, and this is, of course, in part, their money. And you just heard Director Odom, we have 40,000 students. And with all due respect, I'm not saying now that I'm against this or for it. I'm just saying, I think you know what students, I don't want to hear from another commissioner a year from now, well, we don't have any money to do whatever. It's all out of MTSU, or we sure could use that $1 million back. I bet you wouldn't give it back. I don't blame you. But that troubles me a bit. But anyway, we're going to discuss and talk, and they may have more questions or comments right now. But anyway, do you, committee, you want to say anything else at this point? Well, we'll put this on the agenda then next time, and You may get some phone calls this week. You may-
I'm available anytime. Already got your next meeting down. Plan to be here, answer any questions. If you have things, please let me know. Be glad to get any information that you might need for that, toward that facility, toward this discussion. We certainly appreciate the consideration. We realize it's a large ask. It's a large project. And it is one of the things that we do know. In fact, I'm working on a report now. Capital funds for public higher education are very difficult to come by. There are not just large, readily available sources for anybody. And so we realize with this change in the legislation, it's put all of us into a little bit of a new game. And we're working as quickly as we can to try and put plans together, but a lot of this wasn't even finalized till April and toward the end of the budget session. So we're working as quickly as we can because we've got a building we've already started. So we're on a timeline as well. But I certainly appreciate the consideration. Be glad to answer any questions at any time.
Do we have your contact information? I didn't see it in this paperwork.
If you don't, I'll make sure you get it to the mayor's office. They can distribute it to you very easily.
Anything else at this point, committee? Thank you, Mr. Bales. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Looking at the agenda, I think that brings us to the ever-popular new business. Is there any? If not, I think we're sneaking up on adjournment here. We are adjourned. Thank you, committee.